to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Today, we are going to look at a very harrowing case. The harrowing case of a man, a great man from the East, Chief Denis Abuda, the late Chief Denis Abuda. He was abducted on his way back to catch a flight to USA. He was killed. He was kidnapped and killed at the Benin bypass in Edo State. Now, by all accounts, for what we've heard, they arrested him. They started getting him to walk for a long time. The guy couldn't walk far. There's videos of him that people have seen him, really being helpful to all this community, And then what suddenly happened was the Fulanis in that forest, in that area, they targeted him. And from what we understand, they were told they had 4 people. And of the 4, he was saying, I'm tired, I couldn't walk. And he was shot on the spot. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this so that we understand that this is what is happening to us in the South. Be it Yoruba, be it Bendel, be it Igbo. This is what is happening to us daily. Now, I'm going to play the video. And I want you to share this video. This is the reminder that we need for us to ensure we continue on the road, on the path towards Oduduwa Nation and Biafra Nation and Middle Belt. Because the killings by the Fulani herdsmen will not stop. And I also at this point want to ensure that we in the South, we need to identify and neutralize the traitors in our midst. Did you hear me? We need to identify and neutralize the traitors in our midst who are doing all they can to make sure that we do not get our independence. And as things stand, if we do not go for that independence, we will be slaves in our own land. The man that is now late Chief Abuda, late Chief Denis Abuda, late man that is doing a lot for his community. His wife now, I spoke to a friend who knows her, destroyed. That family has been destroyed. They're destroyed. Now that is the fate that awaits those of us who are in diaspora. That is why we need to if we do not deal with this issue, if we do not confront it and ensure we work together with those who are on ground and get Oduduwa Nation and Biafra Nation. Now let's watch. Beg your pardon, let me just...
Chief Denis Abuda, 63 years old, came to his hometown, Fuga, in Isako Central Local Government Area of Edo State from the United States of America during the 2020 Yuletide. After the celebration, he then decided to return to the United States of America on 30th January 2021. The deceased and 3 others who traveled with a Toyota Sienna car from Fuga to Lagos for his flights to America was attacked by some heavily armed suspected kidnappers. The said gunmen were said to have kidnapped Chief Denis Abuda, Chief David Oriake, Mr. Richard Bologi, the Sienna car driver, and Mrs. Comfort, and taking them into the forest. It was revealed that while they were being led into the thick forest, Chief Denis Abuda got exhausted and could not continue the journey. His inability to continue the journey into the forest of the unknown got the said kidnappers angry. They were said to have shot him dead on the spot and led others into the forest. They however opened a ransom negotiation to the tune of 50 million naira with the family members. But when the family members saw...
Did you hear that? They led him into the forest. When he got tired and couldn't go, they shot him dead. On top of that, knowing they shot him dead, they still went and told them, the family, they called the family and say to provide 50 million naira ransom. And they put gun. One of them, apparently, you hear him, they put the gun to his head, telling them so that they wouldn't tell them that he was dead. Look, this was what the Fulani herdsmen are doing. We must flush our forests out. We have to flush out all the Fulani herdsmen in the south, in the forest. They shouldn't be in our forest. They should go and be in the north. This is a harrowing case. Let's listen on.
To speak with Chief Denis Abuda, the suspected kidnappers forced the victims to say he was in another place. On Tuesday night, the other 3 victims were released after ransom, while the whereabouts of Chief Abuda was unknown. The situation forced the Edo State Commissioner of Police, CP Philip Ogbadu, to lead a search party to the forest. The search team had the Ipobahi Area Commander, AC Adebowale Lawal, the Divisional Police Officer, Egba Police Division, CSP Ayola Ojo, and other top police crack teams. During the search, the kidnappers' hideouts were raided, where some suspects were arrested. In the process, the body of the first Chief Denis Abuda was recovered.
What?
See, that's his body. That's his body. Apologies. That's his body right there. Can you imagine the horror that the family will be going through seeing that? Can you imagine? Can you imagine the horror? And I feel I'm not even a family member, but he is a southerner as far as I'm concerned, and we are all in this together. And he should never have gone through this. And the forest, as we all know, is all been taken over by Fulani herdsmen that the government is saying nothing about. And as you heard, Governor Ortom said of Benue, he said, look, the government know that Miyetti Allah are killing and beheading and raping and committing all sorts of atrocities, and they are still allowing them to walk around freely in Abuja and around the whole country. It is up to us in the south to flush out our forest, to rid our forest of the Fulani herdsmen. The police are in the pockets. The police and the army are in the pockets of the government that supports Miyetti Allah. This, unless we take this action ourselves, we will not be able to walk freely. You know, on those of us who want to go home, we'll always have the severe worries and face the likelihood of abduction. So look, we need to go for Duduwa Nation and Biafra Nation and Middle Belt. We must. Let's listen on. May his soul rest in peace. This is so heartbreaking.
2 of the victims, Chief David Ogeake and Mr. Richard Bologi, said they were descending a hill near Ahobini bypass when the armed men intercepted their car and forced them into the bush.
How many of you were in that Sienna? 4 okay.
of us.
Including this brother now?
3 men, 1 woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what can happen after you come out of the motor?
They were shooting after we just came down from the vehicle.
Okay.
They were fire. They were just firing.
Now you can't find out your brother now. They were not calling for ransom. What happened thereafter? Because now he was found dead.
They were always putting a gun on my head. Pop action that I should not tell my family that my brother is dead.
Yes.
That if once anybody will make sure that the man is dead, that they will finish me immediately. So I have to oblige that because they must give you an authority before you say anything.
Okay.
Once they call you to come and speak with your family to discuss about ransom, they will tell you what to say. And if you say anything beyond that, then you hear the gun. They will deal with you.
So how many days did you spend in the bush altogether?
They kidnapped us on Saturday afternoon at about 1:30 to 2, and they released us on Tuesday evening at about 6 o'clock.
The Ipobahi Area Commander, Edo State, AC Adebowale Lawal, said the police will continue to keep vigil on the Benin bypass as a way to keep criminals off the routes.
It's better for these people to relocate. They just have to leave our area of responsibility. We have 5 now.
5 of the suspects. 5
of the suspects, and they promised to take us to their hideout. So as soon as we are done here.
Right. Now, I guarantee you that as soon as the police do process them in the paperwork, that will be the end of the matter. They are not going to be charged. Do you know why? They are Fulani herdsmen. You heard him say that it's better they should be rid of our area. That is a helplessness. The police know what they're supposed to do. But because the federal government is supporting the actions of Miyetti Allah and the Fulani terrorists, the police, they cannot do anything because the military, the federal government is telling them, you just do what we tell you. That's why he was trying to tell us. Listen back again. Listen on. There's something, you would hear what he said. Listen. Very, very telling words.
better for these people to relocate. They just have to leave our area of responsibility. We have five now.
Five of the suspects,
and they promised to take us to the hideout. So as soon as we are done here, we are going to continue to where we have stopped.
So now that the body has been recovered, what next?
Yes, we are going to arrange for ambulance to evacuate the body and probably release to the relations of the deceased. The cooperation of members of the public, information they give to us, and with the support of the government.
As at press time, the remains of late Chief Denis Abuda have been packaged in a body bag and sent to the mortuary for autopsy and other investigations. This is the footpath where the suspected kidnappers was said to have led their victims through into the forest. But according to what we gathered, Mr. Denis Abuda could not continue the long journey into the deep forest, following which the suspected kidnappers were said to have shot him dead on the spot. For now, some suspects have been taken into custody by men of the Edo State Police Command. Well, because of this, thereafter, your guest is as good as mine. From the Benin bypass here in Benin City, Festus Alenke, EBS TV News.
Oh man, I want to bring his picture up because that's the most important part of it. Him. This is a man that's hugely successful in the US. The success that he would have achieved had we had the right infrastructure in place, good government in place, upholding the rule of law. He went there, achieved, went back home to help his family. And the same federal government allowed by their own factions, supporting Miyetti Allah and Fulani headsmen, allowed this to happen to this man. And I tell you, those Fulani headsmen, they will not be prosecuted. They will not, because they will be called from Abuja. Meanwhile, this family has been, they've taken his life. May his soul rest in peace. I just want us to just focus on, this is about the story of a family now. This is why we need to be a nation. Middle Belt. We need to separate from these marauders, these terrorists. The Fulani terrorists in our midst, in our forest, must be flushed out. And this case, I'm distraught, and I'm having to hold it together because this man, 63-year-old man, my brother, my uncle, and I see him as that. It's someone I would look up to, someone I look up to. My close friend mentioned things about this man that I didn't know, but she's aware of. And I mean, the family is just destroyed. Now, the family of those families that he was able to, because of his success in the US, the network of families that is helping, that the federal government has failed in their duties of helping, now they are left hanging. Can you now see that this is a plan to make sure that they strip off us in the South of any connections to people that can help us out of our own poverty that they've put us in the first place? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to keep this longer anymore. I'm just trying to keep it together. Please, I urge you all, donate to the Sunday Boho funds, donate to the Yoruba Rescue funds, and also please join us on this journey towards independence for Oduduwa Nation, Biafra Nation, and the Middle Belt. If Arewa wants this, fine, but we no longer want to be part of Nigeria. This is what Nigeria is doing to us. This is what Nigeria is doing to us. The killing of this successful great man. And the government did not do everything in the power to make that road safe. The job of the government is to provide safety and security for the citizens. It was non-existent. That's why we're going for the Duanish. Listen, I'm going to stop here. Please, when you see this broadcast, subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube and share. And of course, tell people about it. And like I said, donate to the Chief Denis Abuda Fund plus the Yoruba Rescue Fund We'll post as many links of that as possible. Please continue to share. Please, thanks for watching. The very, very sad news. We condole with the family of Chief Denis Abuda. May his soul rest in peace. I put the picture there so that it's in our minds. This is what is happening to us one by one in the south, propagated by the Fulani government using the Fulani terrorists supported by Miyetti Allah, whom Governor Ortom has said, why is the government not arresting them? And they're not going to arrest them because that's the job they want them to do. They want to take the land in the south. So we must stand our ground, kick out the terrorists, kick them out of our forests. Listen, I thank you all for watching. Please continue to share the broadcast. Talk soon. Take care. May his soul rest in peace. Distraught for the family. Thoughts with the family, of course. Bye for now.